Really?
Yeah.
What's that?
I asked this Asian girl how to pick up Asian girls, and she said to buy them an iPhone.
Damn.
Last week we talked a little bit about apprenticeships. It's an important topic, and I think we need to talk about it more. So this week, Pierre and Kenny are going to explain to you exactly how they got their apprenticeships.
I just people up in my room for a minute and myself up a little bit, and actually got a piercer that said, you didn't really yourself up. There's, there's some dudes you might want to talk to over here. They were the dudes handling business in my area. At that point, David been piercing for 12 years. And he was the big man. There were 3 piercers at the shop. There was no shop in Miami with 3 piercers at the time. They were doing the volume. So I went in and bugged them, and they kicked me out until they started letting me do release forms and take out the trash, and then realized, I had a way of dealing with these people. Had kind of a knack for it, so they just took me on, and I did it, handled it.
I started off with a counter job when I was 18, got out of high school. And a couple months into it, they asked if I wanted to learn to pierce, which of course, that was why I was there. But I only had 6 weeks to do the apprenticeship in, and that was, I didn't know at the time, but yeah, nowhere near long enough to learn everything there is to know about doing piercings. At the same time, I started hanging out with Core, a suspension group in Houston, and started working with some really amazing people in the industry, and was learning a lot of stuff from them. And I would, take it back to the shop I was at, and they just weren't having any of it. And so we clashed a lot there, and the whole time thing, just kind of made stuff difficult. So we brought that to an end. From that time until 6 years into the future, I was bugging Torian to try and get a spot there. And at the same time, turning down shops in my hometown that wanted me to work there, and I would just go look at their stuff and refuse it because it was just horrible jewelry, horrible conditions. And after working with people that I've worked with, just those aren't things that I want to bring myself to do, So that's why I waited 6 years to get into Torian. Like I said, 6 years later, I moved to Houston. 6 months after that, I finally got offered the job at Torian. Started making jewelry at first, did not jump into piercings. Did the jewelry for 2 years, then started the piercing apprenticeship. And I am to this day the only person at Torian that's been apprenticed for jewelry and for piercing. And yeah.
Bottom line is, when you're looking for somebody to apprentice you, go to the guy who's doing good piercings. Look at your friends who has sweet piercings on them. Find out who did it. Go talk to that guy. That's what I did. Noel had mentioned these guys were decent. Then I saw they'd been piercing everybody from my high school and everyone else. They were the piercers of our area. Everything was straight. Everything flowed right. Jewelry, but nobody in Miami uses good jewelry. Yeah. So, however, I learned exactly how to pierce.
And Pierre pierced a nostril, freehand, no tools. Get to see how he did it.
Okay, I want the expensive one. Or I kind of just like the plain.
That's nowhere near
just like regular. Oh,
I could got you for
yeah, just like the plain.
Hi, I'm Jessica, and I'm getting the right side of my nose pierced right here. And we came to Pangea because it's the best place in Ann Arbor.
Nope. The first most important thing I need for you to remember in regards to any piercing is just that I don't want you to touch it. Your fingertips come into contact with all the bacteria that you deal with on a daily basis. I don't want any of that stuff to make it into contact with your piercing. You're going to treat this piercing just like an open wound because that's exactly what it is. And that just means I don't want you to get anything into contact with that piercing that you would not be willing to let someone put in your eyes. So there's not going to be anything like alcohol, Bactine, Neosporin, hydrogen peroxide, betadine, iodine, benzalkonium chlorides, harsh antibacterial soaps or cleansers. All of those things, besides kind of making you hate your life if someone pours them in your eyes, they've got a huge warning label on the side of the packaging, which reads for external use only, not intended for use on deep or puncture wounds. That's exactly what a body piercing is. That's what you're paying us for today, okay?
On your nose. Well, I apologize if this week's episode's a little thin. It was my birthday last Sunday. I had to move my girlfriend to Germany, and it's just been kind of crazy busy around here. So what do you expect from me? I'm only human. Next week, though, we're going to give you some solid information about piercing schools. And you get to meet the new counter kids. So be sure to come back next week and see what we did.